Hi, Lisa. It's a short workday today, isn't it? Huh? Today is Thursday, right? The short workday at my company is Wednesday. I wasn't talking about your company's policy. It's a day for you to come home quickly and do your job as a wife. That's why I'm telling you to come home without working overtime. I've never heard that before. I've just decided. If you're not working late, you can leave early. What is that? You're thinking like, if you don't have bread, just eat cake. Anyway, come home early. Before you come home, go to the supermarket and get some groceries for dinner. When you get home, you prepare my dinner, clean the bathroom, clean the toilet, and mop the floor. You can't just abandon your duties as a wife because of your job. That's unacceptable. That's impossible. Huh? I have to go to a distant client tomorrow. So I'm not going home today. I'm leaving on the train. What? Do you think you can get away with such nonsense? It's my job. It can't be helped. I've already told my husband Frank. Besides, even though we live together, it's a two-family house. Your side of the family should do the housework. I'm really dumbfounded. What's your job? You're a woman. You don't have much of a job anyway, but you have the nerve to go on a business trip? Normally, when a woman becomes a wife, she should quit her job and take care of her family, right? And you've been married for 20 years, and you still don't want to be part of the family. Are you talking about that again? As I said before, I am in a position of some responsibility in my company. I can't just casually leave early or resign. You haven't believed me for a long time that I'm a manager. Of course I don't. It's insane for a married woman to be in a managerial position, and an incompetent person like you can't possibly be in a managerial position. I see. That's why I'm telling you to quit your job. It's not like you're making much money anyway, and the business will run smoothly even if you're not there. Besides, what's more important than anything else? I think the reason I don't have grandchildren is because you're working. You're in your 40s. You're on the verge of not being able to have a baby, so you need to get on with it. That's why I want you to stop working. If I stop working, I won't be able to make a decent living. Besides, I've decided not to have kids. I have my hands full with my life right now, and I don't see any way I can adequately raise a child. What are you saying? You still insist that you can't live on Frank's earnings alone? We've been having the same conversation over and over again. There's no way that's true. Oh my God, I really wonder why a woman like you came to me as a daughter-in-law. As for me, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that you don't believe me even when I show you my paycheck stubs. Huh? My lunch break is over, so I'm going now.
Hey, Lisa. You said some terrible things to my mom.
Terrible things?
She said you took offense at her suggestions and lashed out at her. She's your mother too, even if she's your mother-in-law. Take better care of her. Respect her more.
Oh my God. I guess that's what they say.
Huh?
I'm being told that I'm totally in the wrong and that my mother-in-law can talk to me however she likes. I don't think your mother was right. That's why I argued my point of view. I didn't want to give in just because I was dealing with my mother-in-law.
Huh? It's not my mom's fault. You were embarrassed because my mom pointed it out, weren't you? That's why you took offense, right? If you honestly admit your guilt and sincerely apologize, I'll forgive you now. So apologize quickly.
Yes, you're right. It's enough. I've put up with you for the past 20 years, haven't I?
Huh? What are you talking about?
About my side of things. I'm at a hotel on a business trip, reconfirming the documents I need tomorrow. I guess that's it then.
Hey! I'm not done talking with you.
Lisa, I heard you're on a business trip again today. Yes, I am. I heard you're coming back in 3 days. Yes, that's right. Is there any possibility of a change of schedule? I can't say for sure. It depends on the situation at the destination. Is there a problem? Nothing, just checking. Okay. Okay then. Frank, what does this mean?
Oh?
I just came back from a business trip. All the furniture and dishes in the house are gone, leaving only my things. And there's divorce papers on the floor of the living room. What is this?
As you can see, I'm divorcing you. I talked it over with Mom, and we decided to start living separately, so we moved out.
Did you do that on purpose? You know today is our 20th wedding anniversary, right?
Yes, I do. Well, just because divorcing on your wedding anniversary is sad for you.
That's not really an explanation. So you're saying that your mother agrees with the separation to divorce process?
That's what I meant.
That's right, I get it. But I'll make sure you fulfill any necessary responsibilities that come with the divorce.
Responsibilities? Oh, you mean the divorce papers? I don't know what you're in such a hurry for, but the divorce papers are filled out by me. All you have to do is fill them out, send them in, and that's it. I'm fulfilling my last responsibility as your husband, filling out the divorce papers. Before you get on your high horse and start pointing fingers, you might want to check it out.
Oh, by the way, let me ask you something.
What?
How are you going to pay for your living expenses from now on?
Huh?
Your mother doesn't work. You're going to have to support her with your earnings. What do you think about that?
Of course I'm thinking about it. My mother and I have my father's inheritance, so it doesn't matter if you're not here.
I see. Okay, I get it. Are you sure you want to file for divorce?
Yes, I'm sure. Just fill them out as soon as possible.
I'll think about it. Lisa, as expected, you're home already, right? Honey, I'm done with you. You and Frank will be divorced. Oh, this time I have to deal with my mother-in-law. This time? Frank sent me a text a while ago about the divorce and moving out. Oh, I didn't know. Then there's only one thing I can say. In order for me to have a grandchild as soon as possible, I think the best thing I can do is for you to get out of my life and get Frank a new wife. A new wife? Frank told you that, didn't he? Holly is pregnant with Frank's child, and she wants to be married before the baby is born. Holly? Who's that? Oh, you don't know? Holly is a pretty and thoughtful woman who will turn 26 this year. I found her for Frank because you never had a baby. Huh? Holly is very different from an old wife like you. It's better to have a young woman to give birth to a child, isn't it? Old? Frank is older than me. You're much older than me. Shut up. Why do you lack respect for your mother-in-law? I'm so glad I didn't let you have a child. It would have been terrible if they grew up to be rude like their mother. Huh, I see. I'd like to ask you one thing.
What?
What are you going to do about your living expenses from now on?
What?
If you let Frank divorce me, it means you can no longer rely on my earnings. I don't know if Holly, whose name you just mentioned, is working.
I made her leave because she got pregnant so that she could start a family.
I see. So the 3 of you will be living on Frank's earnings, and in a few months, the 4 of you will be living on his earnings alone.
Yes, that's right.
Are you sure you can handle it?
Of course we will be fine. After all, Frank's monthly income is double yours. We'll be able to live without any problems at all.
What? Frank doesn't make that much money.
What are you talking about? The pay stub you showed me before, your take-home pay was about $3,000, right? Frank's salary is double that, so he earns $6,000 a month.
That's the opposite.
Opposite?
I make twice as much as Frank.
What?
Let me put it in a simple way. It is correct that my take-home pay is $3,000 per month. Frank earns about half of that. That means $1,500 a month.
Huh?
Even though you lived in the guest room, you lived under the same roof and you didn't notice? Your son has moved from job to job. In the 20 years since he married me, he has quit and changed jobs 11 times.
11 times?
The longest one lasted a little over 3 years. The shortest one he quit after just 1 day. How can his salary go up like this?
Why does he quit his job so quickly?
Maybe it's because he's spoiled.
What do you mean?
Almost all the reasons for quitting, it seems, are human relations. When I asked him about the details, he told me that he always quits because he gets into a fight with another employee. In the worst cases, they even grabbed each other and fought. I even paid compensation to the other party.
I don't understand. But it's not my son's fault. He must have been bullied or mistreated at work. Then he has every right to be angry.
I don't know what's really going on here. It's hard to imagine that he's been bullied at every one of the 10 companies he's left. Of course, there are times when people get into trouble when they work. But to resign after a fight on your first day at work is just too strange. I think it's more reasonable to think that Frank had a problem and that he was the one that started the fight.
What if it's true? Why didn't you tell me earlier?
Frank said he would tell you himself.
I didn't hear about it.
Frank probably didn't tell you. Anyway, because of these circumstances, he depended on my salary to live. So having a child was just a dream. When I was a newlywed, I wanted to have children too. Even though I didn't have the money when I was young, I kept thinking, when I get older and can afford it. I kept thinking about it, and before I knew it, 20 years had passed. Because Frank's salary did not increase, we had to give up on having children. Even if it weren't for that, I would have had to give up on having a child because my husband quit his job every time he had a fight or a disagreement. I can't think of raising a child because it's too unstable and random. And if something goes wrong and someone gets hurt and there is an incident, I would feel sorry for my child.
Wait a minute. If that's true, why would Frank divorce you, the breadwinner? That's too stupid of him, no matter how much Holly is in his life.
According to the text from Frank just now, he said he'll be fine because of the inheritance left by his father.
Huh? Inheritance? There's no such thing and there never has been.
I'm sure that's true. Your husband liked to spend his money. Anyway, why don't you talk about it with Frank face to face? It seems that you two overestimated each other's importance and depended on each other. You both seem to have left out important details.
Hey, Lisa. I'll give you one last chance.
What? Did you have a discussion with your mother?
Yes, I did. I'll tell you how it went.
No, I don't want to know.
I'll tell you the only way you don't have to get a divorce from me. If you want to continue our relationship, you give me money every month. You're gonna give me and my mother everything you make. Do you understand?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You're an idiot.
Huh?
I'll explain it to you in detail. From now on, Mom and I will be in charge of the household finances. I'll give you $50 as a monthly allowance, and you'll make do with that. If you agree to these terms, we won't get divorced, and I'll tell you where to move.
Huh, I see.
If you want to be a family with me in the future, you're going to have to put up with me treating you like an ATM.
I can't because I'm going to live in England.
Huh? England?
A while ago, I was troubled by the fact that the company told me, or rather strongly implied, that I'd be transferred overseas. But you and your mother said you wanted a divorce and moved out. Thanks to that, I've made up my mind.
Huh?
So, I'm getting divorced, so I accepted the offer of an overseas assignment. I said yes today.
What?
If you are single, would you be willing to take a permanent assignment and be prepared to live there permanently? I was asked, and I said yes. I wonder if I'll come to the US only for short visits.
Have you already filed for divorce?
Yeah, I have already divorced. I stopped by the city office this morning before work and handed in the paperwork. You told me to file as soon as possible, so I did.
No way. I found out I'm not going to get my father's inheritance, which I was counting on. How are my mom and I going to make a living now?
Oh, yeah. By the way, I'm going to sue you for your infidelity.
Sue? What? Why? I've never been unfaithful.
Holly, right? Your mother told me everything.
What?
Even if she hadn't, I already was suspicious. That's why I had already been gathering evidence against you. It seems you decided to have this young Holly have the baby because I wouldn't have it. Have you ever thought about why I don't want to have children? Because your low salary and low sense of responsibility are not enough to raise a child properly. It seems that your mother has encouraged you to have a baby. You're going to have a hard time from now on.
Damn.
I've asked my lawyer to take care of everything else. I'm a stranger to you now.
Oh, Lisa. Wait a minute.
Hey, Lisa. We got mail from your lawyer. How did you know where we moved to? That house is an empty house managed by your late husband's sister, right?
What?
She said, your husband and mother-in-law are living there without permission, and she complained to me.
Why would she?
I told her what had happened, and she agreed to cooperate with me until the matter was settled.
What matter?
I'm talking about the mail you received. Let me put it simply. I'm going to sue for adultery, so pay it at once. That's what it says.
Alimony?
My husband cheated on me. I have the right to demand it. And by the way, Holly has already paid it.
What?
It seems that Frank used the promise of his father's inheritance, which never existed, to get into a relationship with her. She said she would leave him if he didn't have money, and she went back to the countryside. By the way, She is planning to claim child support for the child. I'm sure you'll be getting a bill from Holly in the near future.
My grandchild? That child is to be my grandchild and I am to raise them. I won't allow her to go back to the countryside.
That's between you and Holly. Actually, you'll have to talk to your lawyer. I can't help you if you talk to me. In any case, I'm sure you'll have to pay for the child out of Frank's low salary. Why don't you just give up and find a part-time job as soon as possible?
Oh no. Lisa, you can get back together with Frank.
I don't want to. I'm going to England.
England?
I'm sure you talked to Frank, but is there a lack of information exchange again?
If you say so.
It's too much trouble to say it all again. Ask your son.
Lisa?
Goodbye. As expected, Holly also sent a letter from her lawyer saying she wanted child support and custody of the baby. Frank tricked me into getting pregnant. I didn't know he was married. I am a victim. She successfully obtained the amount of money she requested. My ex-husband and mother-in-law had to pay a huge amount of money, including the portion I had claimed. They had to borrow money and are living in poverty in a shabby apartment. I saw them through to that point, and then I moved to England. I was in my 40s, so I thought it would be tough to remarry, and I was working hard at my job. I have become friends with a local man of the same age, and may possibly remarry.